People never change, is what you hear from everyone. It's what you always see in movies. It is the limiting belief that our society lives by. And so you spend your life thinking that since you can't change, what's the point, right? This is your personality. This is who you are. And you cannot change that because obviously people never change. You're destined for failure because all your habits are unhealthy. All you do is watch Netflix all day, eat snacks, that's all. You have no productivity skills, you have no healthy habits. But what's the point, right? You cannot change them. It's you, it's your personality, it's who you are. You're meant to be a failure. You're not good in school, so you don't even try. What's the point? You're gonna fail anyways. And society makes you believe that you cannot change it. I believe otherwise. People can indeed change, either for the better or for the worse. And so can you. For the better, I hope. And this video might as well be what you needed to take that first step into becoming a better version of yourself. All you have to do is change your mindset, and that simple little thing might as well change your life. To begin with, I want you to answer one question. Who are you right now? And I want you to be honest with yourself. This is not for me, it's for you. How do you identify yourself? Who do you identify as? What's your personality? What are your skills? How do you see yourself? Who are you? Now that you've answered that question, I've got another one for you. Is this who you would want to be? I want you to pause this video and answer this honestly to yourself. And then once you've done that, come back to this video and we'll continue. Have you reflected on that? You back? Great, let's move on. If you're happy with the version of yourself that you are right now, then great, I'm happy for you. However, chances are that you're not happy with that version of yourself, hence why you clicked on this video. And that is okay. We're not perfect. I'm on the journey of becoming the best version of myself, and this is still not the point where I want to be. And that is okay. It's the journey that matters. It is the intentions that matter. If you've got the good intentions, you're on the right path. Just the simple reflection of realizing that this is not where you would like to be is a step into that right direction that you're meant to take. And I'm so happy that you're willing to take that step forward and take some of my advice, even a little bit of my advice, to implement into your life and become that version of yourself that you want to be. This change all starts with our minds. Our minds are more powerful than we think they are. Like seriously, the amount of stuff that goes inside of these heads is incredible, especially the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is huge. It's enormous. It stores information that you don't even realize passes through you. Your conscious mind does not realize everything that happens inside of the subconscious. It also stores all of the assumptions about yourself, how you perceive yourself. It also creates habits, the good ones, the bad ones. And there's a lot of aspects about our minds, but one of them is that it is flexible. Therefore, it can be changed at any point of your life. Your mindset can be shifted into what you want it to be instead of what it is right now. And some people don't realize that and just don't take action. But the ones who realize that have the power to change their lives. And I know this from experience. I've experienced this myself. I was once a victim of society's limiting belief that you can't change, people don't change. Even my dad laughed at me when I told him recently that people change. Throughout high school or even middle school, I never really put in that much work into my studies because I just didn't have that mindset that I am a person who studies their ass off for good grades. I was average and I was fine with that. Honestly, I'm fine with it now. It doesn't matter if you're an A-star student in school, no one gives a shit. That was my mindset. That was kind of like how I perceived myself. I was an average student. Instead of studying when I got back home, I did other hobbies. I engaged in different activities. I met up with my friends, etc. And now, why do you think all of these A-star students, straight A students, always achieve those grades? It is because of the way of how they perceive themselves and of how others around them perceive them. Now, these kids are probably taught discipline from the beginning, so their parents teach them certain habits and implement those habits on them, and therefore the kid identifies themselves as a high achieving student. Not achieving that A star would be not consistent with their personality, would not be consistent of how their subconscious mind perceives themselves. So they keep on studying, they keep on doing stuff because that's just how they function. That is how they perceive themselves. And yeah, so all of those habits that they form are formed in order to match those assumptions they have about themselves and to reaffirm their identities. Since I never had that assumption, I never formed those habits to study hard and kind of like got into university as well. I didn't do my best, and that is because I never perceived myself as someone that studies on a regular basis. I never perceived myself as someone who can achieve high grades. Therefore, I did not have the motivation to form those habits. And I also perceived myself as someone that disliked what I did. There was a period in my degree, it was horrible. I had some sort of existential crisis. I kept telling myself, I hate this, I want to drop out, I want to change degrees. Obviously, I was gonna hate to study for my subject because I already told myself that I hated my degree, so why would I have the motivation to form any of these habits? Procrastination was a really close friend of mine, and instead of studying or like doing other things that I wanted to do, I really struggled with procrastination, and it took the whole summer and reading Atomic Habits by James Clear to change that. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It completely changed my mindset and how I perceive myself. I mean, like, not myself, but like how I perceive productivity, time management, things like that. And so I am here to tell you that you can achieve the same things, change your life, change your perspective, change your mindset as I did by following some simple steps and rules. Rule number 1 is to start with yourself. Any change at all that you want to implement will always start with yourself, no matter what it is. No matter what it is, it always starts within you. You need to start with the way that you perceive yourself. If you see yourself as a failure, of course you'll fail. If you see yourself as not worthy of love, of course you're gonna struggle to find it. And if you think of yourself as someone who will succeed, you will succeed because that's who you think you are. And you will be driven to follow the same patterns as you have in the past. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a good self-image. It is good for literally anything. There's nothing bad with it. It doesn't make you narcissistic. It literally just helps you and yourself. No one else cares about your life, and you should be the one that prioritizes yourself and the one that cares most about yourself. There are a lot of ways to change the ways that you perceive yourself. My favorite ones are affirmations. So start telling yourself things like, I'm successful, I'm the best, you know, that law of attraction, law of assumption sort of thing. You might think it's bullshit at first, but you will not believe how great you'll feel afterwards. It's not about like telling yourself these affirmations and just like forget about them for the rest of the day. It's about keeping these thoughts in mind every time that you hear that you're talking to yourself in a bad manner, because that's where it gets ugly. When you do too much self-hate talk. And we do not want that. You cannot be wealthy, be successful if your mindset is at, I'm bad, I'm horrible, I'm broke, I'm a failure, etc. So just shift it to that millionaire mindset and repeat it, because practice makes perfect, and that applies to absolutely everything. The more you practice affirmations, the sooner they'll get engraved into that subconscious mind, and they will replace that old belief of yourself, which is what we want. Rule number 2 is set new habits that align with that version of yourself that you want to be, the life-changed version of yourself. Now that you have an idea of who you want to be, it is time to set habits that will actually lead you to that goal. It is pointless to set any goals without setting up a system to actually get there. Make a list of things that you would like to change in life and set up systems for that. Make habits that align with that changed reality that you want to go into. Ask yourself, what would this person do? And then set up habits based on that person, based on that version of yourself. Rule number 3, everything is possible if you've got enough nerve. Hermione Granger said it herself, and she couldn't be more right. You need to realize that you can and are capable of anything that you want to do in life. Yes, people around you might think differently and then might push their limiting beliefs onto you. But you're not gonna accept any of that bullshit. You're gonna do you, be confident in who you are, what you want to achieve, and the path to get there, and you keep on walking without anyone throwing you off the track. Even if they're your close friends or family, if they discourage you from the goals that you want, they can go leave. They have their own limiting beliefs. Do not let their limiting beliefs get you down, because you know your worth, you know who you are, and you know what you're gonna achieve in this life. So you keep on going, get to where you want to be, change your life, and prove them wrong. Stop setting realistic goals. Realistic. That's what everyone tells you. It's why most people settle for less. It's because society teaches us to think realistically, and so does school. A lot of the times people are discouraged from chasing their dreams because they're labeled as unrealistic. Again, school is a prime example of that. But the truth is that the bigger your dreams and aspirations are, the more driven you will be to achieve them. People do not become millionaires just because they tell themselves, my goal in life is to have a solid source of income, have a good car, blah, 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 blah. No. Millionaires become millionaires because from the beginning, they think they will be great. They think that they will make a great contribution to society and the world. And they think of themselves as millionaires and someone who is and will become a millionaire. And even if you don't become a millionaire, just having that mindset that you can become a millionaire, that you are on the path to becoming a millionaire, will get you much, much more further in life than if you tell yourself that that is not realistic and that you will settle for this job that pays you this amount per week and stay there for the rest of your life without making any progress at all. Do you see where I'm going with this? If you settle for less, you will get less. If you have bigger aspirations and actually go follow them, you will achieve greater things. Things that you would have thought that you wouldn't achieve, but there you are, achieving them because you believed in yourself and you took that risk of chasing your dreams. And the conclusion of this, do not be afraid to shoot for the stars. So we are at rule number 4, and that is changing your point of view. One of the most important factors here. Train your brain to associate things that are boring or unpleasant for you to do with things that are pleasant and nice and don't take that much effort for you to do. I used to treat university like it was something I had to do, something that I didn't enjoy. And of course, I hated attending classes. Of course, I hated writing assignments, studying. It was all because I told myself that I hate this, that I don't want to do this, that I have to do this. My motivation was down there. Instead, in summer, I actually started telling myself that, oh, I actually am studying something that I enjoy, because after all, I chose these studies and I chose my degree, so why would I hate my degree? And I actually started enjoying the subjects, which I've been revising for in summer. Instead of telling myself, ew, I have to study today, I tell myself, oh, I get to study something that I enjoy and that will bring fulfillment into my life today. And once you change your point of view like this, you're gonna realize that the thing that you were so upset about and so annoyed about is not that bad after all. So the more you start shifting your thoughts into the positive direction, the easier it will be to get certain things done. Of course, do not make it toxic. If you really don't like something, if it really brings you a lot of unhappiness, just quit. And just remember, there are no bad or good things that happen to us. It's just the label that we put on them and when we assign meanings to them. Furthermore, all of the events that we perceive as bad are not that fatal after all. Look at the situation from a different perspective and ask yourself, how is this the best thing that's ever happened to me? And you will start seeing all of the other aspects about it popping up that you didn't even notice because you were so caught up in that one bad thing that you thought was the end of the world when it isn't. Every situation we label as bad usually brings something good in it as well. It's never 100% bad. It's just us over-exaggerating the situation. It is completely okay to be upset about things like this. It's not gonna be the end of the world. Anything is possible when you've got you and yourself. You don't need anyone else to achieve and change your life. Sometimes you might need a little bit of mental support, but who doesn't? But after all, you're the one making your future. You're the one that's making your own path into that future, into that better version of yourself. So you should always trust yourself and trust what you want to do and who you think you are and what you think you're capable of. Don't let anyone else that is irrelevant to your life or like that just simply does not live your life tell you what you have to do in order to be successful. Don't let them tell you how to live your life. Of course, you can always take some advice, but if you don't like it, you don't have to implement it. You do you. If it's good advice, you should take it. If it's bad advice or if it's irrelevant to you, don't take it. So yeah, I hope this video was beneficial to you in some way. It's kind of like a message to my old self because I know I was once that kid that would watch this type of video. And it's really cool to see that I've grown to know all of this, to experience all of this. Anyways, I invite you to open up your mind, change your perspective, and watch the world around you change. Quite literally. Don't forget to leave a like if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe if you're new. I'd love to have you in this beautiful community. And stay groovy. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!